In the center of a courtyard swept clean by the relentless air sits Tenzin, a young initiate, with hands that tremble slightly as he holds a single brass bowl filled to the brim with water. His task is simple in description and agonizing in execution. He must sit until the sun crosses the meridian without spilling a single drop. Tenzin's mind, however, is not in the courtyard, or perhaps it is 1,000 years ahead, imagining the day he is finally recognized as a master. He hears the distant call of a mountain hawk, and his eyes dart upward. He feels the itch of a coarse robe against his neck, and his shoulder twitches. Every external sound is a hook, and his mind is a desperate fish, snagging itself on every distraction, rather than a fortress built stone by stone through the endurance of boredom. Tenzin is a man addicted to the next moment, unable to inhabit the current one. Because he cannot govern his attention, he cannot govern his life. He would finally find his center. He is waiting for the world to become quiet so that he can become focused. This is the ultimate self-deception of the modern spirit. He mistakes environmental stillness for internal mastery. The water in his bowl ripples with every wandering thought. The spill is not a failure of his hands. It is a failure of his resolve to remain in the discomfort of the now. He is haunted by the fear that if he truly focuses, he will find nothing inside himself but the very emptiness he is trying to fill with noise. Most men in the modern world are Tenzin, though their brass bowls have been replaced by glowing screens and their mountain monasteries by glass offices. They live in a state of perpetual fragmentation, their attention sold to the highest bidder in a marketplace of manufactured outrage and trivial novelty. The addiction to the noises focus does not mean the absence of distraction. Focus means the refusal to be moved by it. Strength does not mean ignoring the storm. Do not wait for a quiet world to find your focus. The world will never be quiet. The man who requires the right mood to concentrate is not a creator. The invisible mental trap is the belief that focus is an emotional state. We have been conditioned to believe that we must feel inspired or in the zone to perform at our peak. This is a weakness disguised as a preference. When you rely on the zone, you are a slave to a ghost. The warrior knows that focus is not an emotion to be felt, but a commitment to be executed. Emotional avoidance is the root of distraction. We check our messages, we browse the headlines, and we jump from thought to thought because we are afraid of the quiet reflection that reveals our inadequacy. Procrastination is often just a sophisticated form of hiding from the discomfort of being a beginner. We seek the next hack or strategy for focus as a way to avoid the simple, brutal necessity of sitting still and doing the work. Contrast Tenzin's trembling hands with the cold, calculated precision of Miyamoto Musashi. Musashi did not survive 61 duels by waiting for his mind to feel tranquil. He lived in a constant state of the way, a philosophy where the distinction between the practice and the life was erased. His focus was not a switch he flipped when the swords were drawn. It was the atmosphere he breathed. The looking eye is weak. It sees the essence, the timing, and the intent. Musashi's greatness did not come from a dramatic moment of inspiration on a mountaintop. It came from the repetition of thousands of strikes every single day, regardless of hunger, fatigue, or the noise of the warring states. Musashi's life proves that discipline is the parent of focus, not the other way around. He did not wait to feel focused to practice. He practiced until the focus was inescapable. This is the law of the warrior's path. When you take the first step, the second step becomes visible. Momentum creates discipline. You do not become a focused man by thinking about focus. You become a focused man by performing the acts of a focused man until he can no longer remember being anything else. The man who finishes the page when his eyes are heavy is forging an identity that is immune to the siren call of the trivial. We surround ourselves with noise because noise provides a buffer. If we are busy, we are productive. I could have been great, but there was too much going on. This is ego protection in its most insidious form. We protect our potential by never putting it to the test. We choose the illusion of progress, reading about the work. The years do not disappear in great chunks. They are bled away second by second, notification by notification, until the man who intended to do great things realizes he is merely a man who watched others do them. The noise of the world is a thief, and it steals the only currency that truly matters, your presence. To build focus in a world addicted to noise, you must embrace the path of the voluntary uncomfortable. You must seek out the silence that scares you. You must sit with the boredom that makes you want to reach for your phone. Focus is the ultimate act of rebellion in an age of distraction. It is a refusal to be a pawn in the attention economy. Do not seek to eliminate the noise. Seek to become the kind of man who can stand in the center of a riot and still hear his own heartbeat. Quality is a function of attention. Let your life be a series of intentional narrowings. Narrow your circle until it contains only the formidable. He sees the breath of the enemy. The world will try to pull you back into the chaos. It will whisper that you are missing out. It will tell you that you are being too rigid, too stoic, too serious. Let it whisper. A life without focus is a life that never fully happens. To reclaim your focus is to reclaim your soul. It requires no inspiration. The noise is the weight that makes you strong. He asks for a sharp mind and a disciplined heart. Commitment is the bridge between the man you are and the man you must become. Pliff discipline is the oxygen of that transition. Strength does not mean the ability to handle more. Strength means the courage to demand less. Do not look for a sign. The silence is the sign. The work is the way. The repetition is the master. Your focus is your freedom. Commitment is the only truth in a world of noise. The world is watching, but you are not watching back.